So start with the box. So just
Hello there, guys.
Hey, man.
who's that?
Welcome.
Andrew? Or cool. So shift right click cube. Guys, you need to use shift right click in Maya. Or you just can use the poly modeling here and make the primitives. Control 1 to isolate selection. So that is just gonna isolate only the thing that you have selected. So pick something, pick a notebook or something, just and write the shortcuts because it's really useful. So control 1 to isolate selection. F is used to frame if you are somewhere else and you don't know where your object is, but you have it selected. Press F, it's gonna frame it. I'm just gonna make this 70 centimeters box. 70 centimeters. Control 1. Oh, I think it's because it's scaled as well. So I'm just gonna put the scale to 1. So now I have a 70 centimeter box. So scale needs to be at 1, and so we can make it actual box size. I'm just going to do some experimentation. So in Maya you can be in, for example, with your object selected, if you right click on it, you have these different, you can be in object mode, edge, vertex, face mode, and you can manipulate all these things. So select one of them, that's a point, the vertex is a point, and then using W or this one here, you can move them. Yeah. Same with face. So holding right click, face, you can move faces around. If you want to go back, Control Z. Just put it on the notebook there. Control Z is undo, and I think Control Y is redo. Yeah, so that is one. So Maya has this pie menu, so if you just right click, it opens a pie menu. So if you're in object mode, and then you use shift and right click, you'll get modeling tools like extrude, cut, stuff like that. So if you're in face mode, you'll get different things: poke face, bevel, extrude face, and so on. So it's like a smart. So yeah, let's just have a look at what we said. We want to make the crate, and I got some reference, quite generic crates, science fiction, typical crates. And I'm gonna select these three. Select these three faces. So right click face, and select them. I use shift to add to selection and shift to remove. Yeah, that is to select things. And then shift right click, extrude faces. And now I have this menu, and I can give them an offset. I'm going to use something like 13, an offset of 13. And I have this manipulator still, and I can use these boxes if I want to. And this is like a scale. These are actually they're scaling up and down, and they're getting interesting results. Okay. So I'm just using like this. I'm trying to make a mix of the red one and this one and the yellow one. So guys, if you have a question and stuff, just, you know, this is really open, so it should be really friendly. And then just think about to put some handles in here and here on both sides. Okay.
I can't see your screen exactly.
Oh, you can?
Nah. Shoot.
Or is it Michael's or mine?
I can see your stream. Vision.
It's-
Yeah, I
Does-
think you just need to press on the
Watching the stream.
go to grid and then select Lucian or Michael's.
Or if you click on gallery, you can see both of us. I mean the grid.
Like, look,
Oh yeah, I got it.
is it focused? What is that? Anyway, just keep on going. So then I'm gonna actually I'm gonna take these edges. So you just double click. Once you double click on an edge, it's gonna try to you know, it's gonna try to find the edge loop. If it's all around, you see this one goes like this. So it's just double click. It's an easy way to quickly select edges that are continuous. But if they meet another edge, like two of them, if I double click on this one, you see it's meeting two of them, it's gonna stop here. Same here. But here's only meeting one in a line, so it's fine. So I'm just gonna select these two maybe. Maybe even this one and this one. I'm gonna shift right click and bevel the edges. I want to see what results I'm getting. I'm getting some weird stuff going on here. I think I should have done it before. So I'm gonna delete these ones. Control backspace. How about if I just delete? Just press delete and that's it. And I'm gonna try to bevel them again. And now if I use control and middle mouse click, it's gonna give me more control to, you know, change the fraction of my bevel. So I deleted these because they were preventing me. If I go back, you saw what happened. I had them on, and when I tried to bevel, I use shift to add to my selection. So shift right click bevel, and you see what's happening here. And it's because of these. So I select them, I delete them, and I'm gonna fix them later. Okay, shift right click bevel. Okay, looks okay. And then I use the shift, go to object mode, and then shift right click, I use multicut. Now multicut is really useful. You can go to modeling toolkit here, and we find multicut, and it looks like a scalpel. And I need to go from here, and I want to connect it here. I'm doing this because I don't want to have n-gons. So in games, when you're making game assets, you don't want to have these. This is an n-gon. It has multiple edges, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It has 8. So it's like an octagon, but it's irregular. So it's not good. So I'm just gonna use the multicut to fix that. I'm you know, keeping this clean, like a clean geometry. So I'm just going to select these two edges, both of them. I'm going to use the W. I'm going to move them slightly inwards. It's like I want to keep the same proportion, you know, the distance from here to here and here to here as well. Okay. Again, to face mode, I have this autosave mode on, which is useful. Okay, a quick selection. Selection, I use tab. So if I'm in face mode or in edge mode, just holding right click. If you're wondering how to get here, hold right click over your polygon, and I use tab, and tab is just gonna add, and it's just like paint the surface, and then tab over again once it's selected to remove. Yeah, that's one way of quickly selecting stuff. Or just click on the first one, go to the last one, hold shift and double click. That's going to connect in between. For example, if I want to do it from here to here, it might not work. See, I don't, because it's not doesn't like the how geometry is, how the edges are set up. Okay, so let's just extrude this one inside now. So extrude, and we can give it some thickness like this. Maybe too much. Okay, it's good enough. Now I just want to make some room or some space for the handles, because if we look here, I said I want to make like a mix of this one with this one, get some handles in there, and maybe have an opening to get inside. So in order to do that, we're going to use something called booleans. So I'm going to make a cube. Now the cube is I created it, I clicked on it, and it's here, it's inside. Every time it creates something, it creates at XYZ 0, 0, 0 coordinates. So this is 0, 0, 0. Need to scale it using R and use W. Sorry, W, and move it around. So basically I want to carve a shape in here. Now if I press 4, I can see the wireframe, my polygons. If I press 6, I go back. So 4, and I want to see how deep I can go. Yeah, in there. So let's press 6. And I actually want this to be dead in the center. So I know that this line here is X, this one here is Z. So I want to have the Z 0. So I go here up, press 0, enter. And I know that is right now it's perpendicular on the x-axis. So this is the x-axis, this is the z-axis, yeah? So that's Z, that's positive, that's negative. You see it here, Z, the blue line it means is Z, okay? So I'm going to put Z0, and I'm going to subtract from this one, this one. So I first click on A, shift, click on B. So I have the A and B selected in the order, and then shift right click, and I can use boolean. There is a boolean here, boolean difference. Okay, so holding shift and right click in the same time, or you can just go here and boolean, and I say I don't want union, I want difference. Okay, so that just made that carving in there. So that's good, but now we need to fix this because we created some n-gons in here. Again, shift right click, multicut, and we're just gonna fix these here like that. So just click and hold, and once it reaches a vertex, it's gonna stop, and then right click to complete. So click and hold, right click to complete. And here, okay, so we just made one. That's gonna go to object mode, right click, and we just want to do the other side as well. So the good thing about Maya is that you can use something called mirror. Shift right click with the object selected, shift right click, mirror, and we want to mirror. Well, created an interesting shape here, but we don't want it. We want it on the X, I think, and towards minus. And mesh threshold, I'm just going to put it to 1. So basically what it means, if I just go back before, I'm going to explain it how it works. Pressing W is going to, get the move tool. So we see that the red, the arrow, that is towards plus X. So if you imagine here as being 0, yeah, and then Cartesian, you remember on maths you had the going towards plus infinite, negative infinite, on the y-axis, yeah, plus infinite, and going down minus infinite. So if you think about it, we get plus X on the right side because it's pointing, yeah, you see it here on the right, plus X minus X, and we just want to from plus X to minus X. Okay, I think I can hear myself. Okay.
Yeah, I think someone put their speakers on.
Yeah, okay. Well, too bad we don't have many people. We have many people? Okay, so shift right click, I'm just gonna mirror. I set
Got
them
8
on X towards negative. Okay, so that's good. I press Q to go out of the, to go into selection mode. Okay. And now I want to make this a little bit deeper, so I'm just going to select both of these and move them down like that. And these ones more on the inside. So if I want to bring both of them on the inside, if I do like this, you see what's happening. It's not good. So if I want to bring them both, I can use the scale. So I use R and I scale them in or out. Yeah, so you can scale them in. In the same way, you can flatten things. So for example, we have a surface. Let me just make another like a sphere. I'm just going to make a sphere. And select the faces, right click. And I want to select all these faces and I want to flatten this. I use tab to select the rest of them. Yeah, so if I press R and scale, move them down, and that's it. We got ourselves a flat table or a spherical table or something. So yeah, a good, you use this to scale, and you can also pick opposing faces, and you can scale them like that. Okay, just gonna delete this one. So now what I want to do, I want to maybe round these edges. So I'm just gonna double click. I have the shift hold I'm gonna deselect these ones because I don't want them. This one and this one deselect. Bevel. Let's see. Hey Joanna.
Hi there.
Hey,
How's it going?
I'm at work actually.
At work, yeah, I can hear that. There's a way to change this if you go to user settings, and I think you need to change voice and video, and in the app settings there's a voice and video, and instead of voice activity, push to talk, and you know, because the audio is being triggered by the sounds,
your background.
by the background.
Your background noise.
Yeah. Oh, but you're.
I
think you muted yourself.
think you
That's good.
muted yourself. That's good.
Come on, what's happening? Don't crash on me.
Crashing. You have a mask. Safety at work, eh?
This is just the autosave. Anyway, so I'm just going to go back. So right now, I said that I wanted to select these edges and bevel them or make them to look a bit more rounded. So Shift. So I just need to select these like that. I use Shift double click, and then I use Tab to remove these ones. Tab, you see there's a minus there, and it's going to remove them. Great. Now Shift right click, bevel, and I think the fraction is too big. I'm just going to reduce it. Right now it's 0.2. Or maybe even bigger. I'm going to add one more segment. I'm just going to look for from a distance to see how it looks like. It's kind of okay. Now we just need to fix these. There's some hanging vertices, one here, and I use target weld. Target weld is gonna select something and it's gonna weld it somewhere else. It's like gonna move the vertex here, and it's gonna weld them together. So I use target weld. I deselect everything, click on an empty space, and then click and drag to the nearest vertex that I want to. So click, hold, and once I go here, release. It's gonna fix my I might do some other stuff here on the sides because they're too plain. Maybe they're too simple at this point. But first I'm just gonna finish the handles, and then so I'm gonna select the inside, and I want to bevel these as well. So I selected the inside edges, Shift right click, bevel them. Use Control and middle mouse click to change this. Then I'm gonna select the top edge and I'm gonna move it up a little bit because it looks better. Go to object mode. And I think these are actually too close for some human hands. Just need a human reference. Just gonna make them slightly bigger. Okay, great. So I wanted to do something on the edges here. I want to select the faces, like all of them, and I can use Tab, and I deselect everything. I hold Tab, and I select all these faces here. Okay, on both sides. Maybe I should do these edges as well. I feel like I made this rounded. I rounded these, and I need to do it with these ones as well. So let's just do that right now. shift right click bevel edge. Okay, I'm getting some bad results because of this. I'm going to delete these. Even these ones. So I'm going to press delete on them. Bevel edge. I think segments were set to 2. And the fraction, something like that. Yeah, that's good. Now it's all nice and round. Which color is this one better? I'm just gonna leave it like that.
Lucian, how do you change the color like that?
Oh, it's Alt B. Just press Alt and B, and it's gonna change.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave the black one. So anyway, I think I'm gonna delete the sides. So I go to side view, and I selected all these. I want to delete this because I have a lot of edges in here, and I need to do some patterns in here. Yeah, so I need to do some patterns, and because I have a lot of these lines, I cannot do proper extrusion. So for example, if I select this face, it even looks weird here. There's something weird here. There's a vertex here hanging. I'm gonna target weld it. Look at that. Okay. So basically I want to select this face and I want to extrude it with offset. Something like that, and then extrude it inside, extrude again and bring it inside. Yeah. But I want to do for these parts as well. And it's a lot of geometry in here. It's annoying me. So I'm just going to Control Z, and we're going to actually delete the whole faces, all of the faces. So select these faces, like that. Or we can press spacebar. I'm going to Control 1, Control 1, and Control 1. Basic Control 1 is isolate select, and press F on all of them. So we said we want to select the face, and we select this face, but we don't want to select these ones. You see? So what I did here, I selected everything, and I use Control, and you see there's a minus now, and Control means deselect, and I'm gonna deselect these ones, and I'm only left with these ones selected. Right? So I press delete, and now I deleted all that, and I go to edge, double click on the edge, shift right click, and fill the hole. Press spacebar. And now I have this nicely, and now I can make my own pattern, right? So let's say, hey, I want to have a square pattern here and 2 triangular shaped, or stuff like that. So I'm just going to use multi-cut, and if I press shift and hold with multi-cut, you see it says 50% and 50% here. Right click, and that's going to split it in 2. Now another times 50% and.
Lucian, sorry to interrupt you, but I have a question.
Yeah.
Would it work if you select all the vertices on the inside of the shape and delete them as well?
So if we go to vertex, let's try and do that. So we select the vertex, and like this.
Well, only the interior ones. No.
Yeah, but we
I
have.
don't think you want to delete the exterior.
Yeah, if we
vertices.
delete these ones, maybe we can do the edges. I think the edges might be more appropriate. So we got this. We Control backspace. Then we delete these. Oh, come on. These and these. Yeah, so it's going to work with edges as well, but it takes
Great,
longer.
thanks.
takes longer to select the. Could have worked, yeah.
Yeah, I asked because you lost me a bit there when you split the view in 4 different angles.
Yeah, I understand. Like, you could have done it just from here as well, but I showed you you can access, you know, these. I'm gonna deselect and you see.
Oh yeah, I get it. You see all the angles at the same time.
Yeah, so this is it is perpendicular on the model. Okay, so we can make an interesting shape now. Keep on going. Actually, let's just go here, 50%. And I'm thinking of an interesting pattern. So I use multicut and I use Control and Shift in the same time, and you see there's some green lines appearing here, and that is, yeah, put that on the notebook as well. Control Shift while in multicut is going to constrain a 90 degree. We're going to keep it to a 90 degree angle. So that is really useful if you wanna, you wanna be perfect about. Okay, so I'm just gonna make this like this, and I select all these faces now. All right, select the faces, and then Shift right click, extrude face. But this time I keep faces together to off, and I change the thickness, to the offset to something like 2, or maybe even less. And then again, Shift right click, extrude again, and bring them in or out, but I prefer to bring them in this case. Cool. So we want to do the same on the other side. I think maybe they're too fat, so I'm gonna select this, go to channel box layer, and we go to extrude 6. I have 2 extrudes. This is the last one, extrude face 7, and extrude face 6 is the one before. So I need to change this offset and make it smaller. Yeah, I think it was too fat. So this is like a history. It records all the things that we've done so far, and it's in channel box layer editor, and it's useful to remember. And if you go to extrude face 7, that was the last operation we've done. We extruded inside. It went inside, so we can change this local translate, see, to positive or deeper. So I'm just going to look from a distance and see how it looks like. It's okay. Turn off the grid here. And I'm going to select these edges for this one. Shift, double click on the next one. So what did this thing did? It just selected the edges all around. So the same with this one. Shift and Shift double click, and it selected the bottom one as well. And I'm only looking where these are at an angle, because I wanna make these angles slightly rounded. So that's why I'm selecting them. I don't select these ones because these already they're a bit rounded. Shift right click bevel. Okay, and we can add 2 segments, for example. Let's have a look. Yeah, looks good. So again, I used Shift right click, yeah. So with all these edges selected, notice I did not select these ones because they were already rounded, beveled, and shift right click, bevel edge, increase the fraction maximum and the segments to 3. Okay, fraction to maximum. Let's see.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I'll ask, what kind do we have access with our Middlesex? Like for free?
Your mic's cutting out, by the way. Try again.
What kind of 3D modeling software do we have access to with our Middlesex, like for free?
Oh, we have pretty much everything except for ZBrush.
Yeah.
So
So
which one would you say would be a best alternative to ZBrush, like for modeling character?
ZBrush has always been the staple for sculpting. What do you think, Lucian? For sculpting,
I think people
it's always been
use,
the staple.
Lucian.
People use Blender. Apparently, that's getting better, but
yeah,
sculpting.
Blender Modbox is used.
Oh, Mudbox. Yeah. Mudbox is good. It's free for students, but afterwards you still have to pay for it.
Yeah, and afterwards you can buy via ZBrush. Just get a license of ZBrush for students, and it's cheaper. I think it's like 300, 400, something like that.
Mm-hmm. But you know,
and then you can upgrade it to proper. Yeah, that's what I did. I actually buy ZBrush because I used to have a pirated version, but I'm a grown-up man, so I think it's
time to do the right thing.
Time to be a good person. Yeah.
But Modbox would be a good starting.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Mudbox is great. They teach Mudbox in the VFX course, but they're shifting to ZBrush now. But Mudbox is still. Those are the top two: ZBrush and Mudbox.
Yes. Sorry for interrupting. So we won't using ZBrush.
We're going to be using ZBrush. Yeah, I'm talking about the VFX course. There's another course called VFX, and they use Mudbox. But there's some things about Mudbox that I don't like. Like your computer gets very laggy, very slow. Because I'm not sure why, but I don't know. This was like 5 years ago when I first used it there, and I was just like, nope, I'm going back to ZBrush. But it updated a lot since then.
Yeah, so if you guys want to hear Michael more, that's fine.
That's fine. Have to do your tutorial, mate.
Yeah, that's somebody asked today for hard surface modeling, and that's why we're just gonna.
Oh, Lucian, I have a question. Lucian, because this is an asset, but does it need a Boolean curve, or is it just for characters? It has to have Boolean curves.
Oh, you mean controllers? The having some curves around too.
Yeah, it's like this since around that control the vertices.
Yeah. So basically, those curves that you saw on rigs, they're used to manipulate, like a puppeteer.
Puppeteer.
Yeah, just move stuff with those curves. Those curves are like handles in 3D.
Okay.
So just take that and just like say, hey, you want to move the hand like this, and you use that curve, and that curves kind of moves things. But for assets such as these one, let's see, control 1. So for example, this shape, control 1, where is it? Here. This ship will not in 3D probably will have if they would have rigging.
Rigs. Okay,
Yeah,
rigs.
they would
Okay.
have rigging on this landing gear, for example, and then you
I
just have a
see.
controller and it's gonna move it up and then it's gonna fold it or something, or do some mechanical stuff like transformers,
Okay.
or I don't know. These would have rigs and they would move.
Rigs.
Only the things that move.
Move.
Actually,
Okay, move.
yeah, but like a box.
No, it doesn't move. Okay.
No,
Okay, I
it's
see.
not gonna move. Ever. They might have a joint to grab it, like handles. They might have
Oh, handles. Okay.
a joint here, and we'll talk about joints later. But no, nothing like that. So don't worry about it.
Okay, nothing for assets. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
thank
let's
you.
just make a handle here. I'm just gonna try to either make this rounder, a bit more rounder. So I selected those two and bevel them. Let me see how we're standing with the OBS recording. Oh, we're 41 minutes in. So I'm gonna stop recording and start another.